Straight ahead on 12 News, new apartment plans in Brooklyn Park. What makes this project unique to the city? Plus, some significant job news. We'll have details on a medical device company relocating to Plymouth. But first, charges filed in the death of a toddler as the state takes a closer look at its child protection system.
We need to think first and foremost of what is best for that child.
12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Murder charges are filed in the case of a toddler who was beaten and later died.
The boy's father now faces second-degree murder charges. The criminal complaint says Reggie Harper repeatedly punched the boy to stop him from crying. The charges come as the state works on ways to improve child protection. Tuesday night, police were called to the 2100 block of 74th Court North in Brooklyn Park. A 23-month-old boy was not breathing.
The child was assaulted and there was some visible injuries to the child.
Kazarian Harper later died at North Memorial Medical Center of what the medical examiner called blunt force injuries. Police have now charged the boy's father, 23-year-old Reggie Harper. He was arrested Thursday night.
This is not his first time being in trouble with the law. He's had a history of family court and criminal court.
According to the Star Tribune, Harper was reported to Child Protection in 2012.
Absolutely tragic. We have too many children that are dying of maltreatment, and we need to take strong steps to reduce that however we can.
Department of Human Services Director Lucinda Jessen co-chairs the governor's task force on the protection of children. The group of police, prosecutors, judges, child advocates, and social service workers approved preliminary recommendations to the legislature to make changes to the system. One change would broaden the definition of child endangerment. Another would require child protection staff to consult with the county attorney if recommendations to the family are not followed. And there would be more training of frontline child protective staff, including family assessment and injury identification. Task force members called it a good first start. Jessen says it's a shift in the state's approach.
We need to think first and foremost of what is best for that child. And in some case, and we need to think very clearly up front about, is the child safe? And so I think that is a real shift in the way we're looking at child protection.
It is unclear what the cost would be to implement the recommendations that were made. A full report to the state legislature is due in February.
A major medical company is relocating its headquarters to Plymouth. Smith's Medical will move from Arden Hills to this building at 6000 Nathan Lane North. The move will affect more than 400 employees. Plymouth officials say the business will be a boost for the local economy, especially the housing sector.
We do have new growth areas in northwest Plymouth that they're building new homes. It'll also help with existing homes in all parts of the community. And as far as other businesses, retail, restaurants, and that sort of thing, we also feel that this will be a huge impact, especially up in that northeast corner of the community.
About 27% of med tech businesses in Minnesota are located in Plymouth.
The Hennepin County Board is taking a closer look at overtime costs within the Sheriff's Office. According to the Star Tribune, the Sheriff Department's overtime costs have doubled to $5 million this year. Some county board members would like to see the sheriff hire more deputies rather than use overtime pay. Sheriff Stanek says this year's high overtime costs were an aberration caused by a significant number of retirements and departures. The board will vote Tuesday on the 2015 sheriff's budget.
Brooklyn Park residents are getting their first look at a proposed apartment complex north of Highway 610 near the Target campus. It would be the first new apartment complex built in the city in decades. The developer calls it a multi-family luxury housing project that brings a new urban edge to Brooklyn Park. It fits a need for the kind of apartments the city currently does not have.
We're proposing about 500 units. It'll be done in phases, probably over a 3-year period. With all kinds of different floor plans, multiple different units, different buildings, a 20,000+ square foot clubhouse that will be everything you could ever want in an amenity package. It's basically a country club without a golf course.
Construction is scheduled to begin on phase 1 this spring. The temperature could get close to 50 degrees this weekend, and that means the ice on area lakes will start to melt.
The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office is warning people to stay off area lakes. Reporter Sonia Goins is at Eagle Lake in Maple Grove with more on the thin ice warning. Sonia?
Now, Mike and Alex, it's chilly right now, but that won't be the case this weekend. It's going to be beautiful, perfect for being outdoors. But the Sheriff's Department is warning ice fishermen and other outdoor enthusiasts to be careful if they venture out on the lakes.
It's going to be very warm this weekend. This ice is going to melt even more, and it's going to get more unstable.
Right now, some area lakes have anywhere from 5 to 12 inches of ice, but that ice thickness can change quickly as you move from different locations. For clear or new ice, 2 inches or less, people should stay off. 4 inches is good for ice fishing, but the ice needs to be 8 to 12 inches for a car or small pickup. The Sheriff's Office says they've already seen people taking chances out on the ice.
Literally, we've had people out there on 2 inches of ice this year testing the ice out, and it's very, very dangerous for them. And even worse, none of them carried ice picks or had a life jacket. And when you're in that water, you're on a time. You only have so much time to be in that water.
Now, the Sheriff's Office wants us to remind people that the ice is never really safe, and it's a good idea to always carry like an ice pick or a life jacket if you decide to come out here on the ice. In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
All right, thank you, Sonia. Coming up, a Plymouth man who is breaking down barriers through video games.
And then a little bit later in sports, the Maple Grove girls hockey team looks to stay unbeaten against a tough Benilde-St. Margaret's team.
But first, that warmer weekend, but it will be cloudy with some possible rain.
Small donations go a long way at nonprofit interfaith outreach and community partners.
Nearly 200 students attend Homework Club each week, and donors make sure they have a snack before the homework begins.
In the spirit of the season, we decided we'd also give back a little bit, and we're packing some snack packs for children.
Before the holiday party at Gage Communications in Plymouth kicked off on Thursday, employees packed 200 snack bags for IOCP's Homework Club. This after-school program serves students living in multi-unit apartment complexes in Plymouth, and it's the third community service activity that Gage Communications has held this year to give food and supplies to Interfaith Outreach. Interfaith Outreach does not have a budget for the snack program, so they depend on donations like these for kids to get a snack after school. A Plymouth man born with cerebral palsy was recently recognized for his business efforts by the Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute in Golden Valley.
Joshua Straub of Plymouth received $5,000 as part of the Judd Jacobson Memorial Award. It's an award Straub will use to make video games more accessible for those with disabilities.
All right, here we go.
When Josh Straub rolls into his home office and positions himself for a day of playing video games,
This is my lap tray. I use it to basically just hold my controllers. Come on.
he knows he's got a dream job.
That's what you have my life.
Born with cerebral palsy,
All right.
Josh has a good sense of humor about the fact that he's building a career reviewing video games
There we go.
for others with disabilities.
Without trying to play poorly, you'll see how quickly I die. They're gonna get me.
Take, for example, one of the hottest holiday games of the season.
So here we have the brand new Assassin's Creed Unity.
From where Josh sits, the review is a mixed one.
There are a lot of little things that when they stack up, they really inhibit players with all kinds of physical disabilities.
On Josh's website, which he created 2 years ago, Josh uses his creative writing degree to rate games based on things like how easy it is to see and hear the game or navigate the course using fine motor skills.
I would actually rate this as partially accessible.
Josh knows his website is an important public service
Got more guys coming here.
for a community of people for whom video games serve as an empowering outlet and important escape.
I can log on to these games for an hour, 2, 3, and for those 3 hours, I'm not confined to a wheelchair. I'm not disabled.
Recognized by the Courage Kenny Rehabilitation Institute recently with a $5,000 entrepreneurial award, Josh plans to improve his website and take things to the next level with his dream job. He wants to work with video game manufacturers to test games in development.
Basically, play the video games, and they pay me to play the video games and tell them how to make them better. And that is what I hope to be doing for the rest of my career.
For the rest of my career.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 1
Josh plans to travel to San Francisco this spring for a conference to network with game developers, and he's also working on his PhD. So if he doesn't write as many reviews these days, you know he's got his hands full, right?
He certainly does.
Still ahead, a brother-sister duo who play brother-sister on stage.
But first in sports, Park Center and Centennial need overtime to decide their girls' basketball thriller. John Jacobson with that and more when we come back.
They'll both compete in the rugged Section 6AA tournament in February. The Maple Grove girls hockey team is ranked second in Class AA. Benilde-St. Margaret was state runner-up last season. The Crimson and Red Knights squared off Thursday night. And Maple Grove dominates the first period, but Anna DiGiulio is a great game in goal for the Red Knights. Rob Potter's Crimson breakthrough as Haley Herdine feeds Abby Larson for the wrist shot in close, and it's 1-0 Maple Grove. Benilde answers with a sneaky shot from the wing. Grace Peluso goes stick side to beat Brianna Blessy. It's 1-1 after one, despite a 16-3 edge in shots for the Crimson. Second period, the Red Knights take the lead. Sydney Simone's backhander crawls over Blessy and rolls in. Simone gets the goal, and it's 2-1 BSM after two. Just when it looks like Maple Grove might take its first loss, they strike. Lauren Kaufman across to Kate Deneke for the quick shot. And this one ties it at 2-2 with 1 minute left in regulation. Maple Grove gets a chance in overtime, but they can't put it away, and the team skate to a 2-2 tie. Without a lot of fanfare, the Hopkins and Armstrong-Cooper boys hockey teams have each gotten off to good starts. They faced off on the Royals' home rink in Hopkins Thursday night. Nathan Nelson of Hopkins takes the hit to get the pass ahead to Webb Bolstead, who slides it across to Josh Levin for the one-timer. A power play goal to make it 2-0 Royals after one period. In the second, Armstrong-Cooper gets on the board after a scramble. Defenseman William Lawson sees an opportunity, and he pounces, burying the shot. The Wings pull within 2-1. Hopkins looking to add to its lead, but Keegan Odell makes a nice stop on the Royals' rush. It stays 2-1 through two periods. Hopkins gets an insurance goal after an Armstrong-Cooper turnover. Levin scores for a 3-1 lead, and that's the final. Hopkins is now 7-1 on the season. Park Center and Centennial girls basketball teams each played in the state tournament last season. Park Center in Class 3A, Centennial in 4A. They met up in a thriller at Park Center Thursday night. The Cougars build an early lead. J.C. Girding with the dribble drive from the wing into the paint for two, putting Centennial up 13-6. Park Center battles back. Ann Simonette misses from the corner, but Michaela Hayes is there for the rebound and putback, plus a foul. Pirates trail by 4. The Cougars then go on a 12-3 run, capped by a nice interior pass from Laura Gallup to Bridget Bolcom. She scores to make it 37-24 Centennial. Park Center cuts into the Cougars' lead before halftime. Hayes, with a left hand, scores 2 more of her 19 points. Pirates down by 6 at the break. Park Center takes the lead in the second half. Danielle Shaw missing the three. Her older sister Hannah there for the rebound. She scores, and it's 41-40 PC. Park Center keeps a one-possession lead most of the second half. Danielle Shaw, the assist on the Hayes bucket that makes it 56-54 Pirates. However, Sydney Stapleton grabs an offensive rebound off a missed shot and floats in a short jumper. This ties the game at 60, and the teams go to overtime. In OT, Park Center is up 1. Alexi Matthews drains a huge three-pointer, puts Centennial ahead. The Cougars hand the Pirates their first loss of the season, 69-68, the final. Good one there. Two teams that will be contending all year in that Northwest Suburban Conference.
All right, thanks a lot, John.
Still ahead, they are brother and sister in real life. They also shine as brother and sister on stage.
That story is next, but first. That's it, right here. There is a warm glow in the 5600 block of Regent Avenue in Crystal. The front yard is lit up for the holidays and populated with all kinds of magical figures. The homeowner says he still has more stored in the garage, and we are, of course, still looking for more impressive lighting displays in the Northwest Metro. If you know of one in your neighborhood, you can email us. Our address is news@12.tv. We'll be right back. People who stop by the popular Maple Grove cupcake shop Nadia Cakes Thursday were in for a sweeter treat than normal.
Erin Campbell, a contestant on this season's Food Network show Cupcake Wars, stopped by to greet the fans. She learned the art of cupcake making from the owner of the Maple Grove shop, Abby Jimenez, and worked for her in California. Erin attributes part of her success to her cupcake mentor.
Abby is kind of like a muse, if you will. I kind of feel like she's my fairy godmother at times. I'll have questions about things or I won't be sure, and I call her, and it's just like the reassurance that I get, it means so much.
Erin plans to leave the California branch of Nadia Cakes and manage a new Nadia Cakes in Woodbury. Wow. Well, this weekend you can catch the final two performances of Follow the Star, an original stage production appearing in Golden Valley.
Neil Persley shows us what you can expect in today's Weekend Showcase.
Many people have heard of The Voice on television. Writer and director Roxanne Battle Morrison used the popular show as a vehicle for her latest original stage production.
It's about a brother and sister named Elijah and Eliana O'Leary, who are discovered on a gospel singing show called The Choice.
Brother and sister Elijah and Eliana O'Forey play brother and sister Elijah and Eliana O'Leary on stage.
Her greatest wish is to become a superstar, because she's dreaming of fame, stars, like the spotlight, red carpets, awards.
The three representatives of Three Kings Records are hysterical. Throughout the play, Ellie's older brother Elijah serves as a stable and protective voice of reason. Elijah says there are similarities to their real-life relationship.
Like at home, since we're brothers and sisters, I always have her back, so it's like bringing our home here.
Then, fast forward 10 years, Eliana and Elijah have achieved notoriety in the gospel music world. But Eliana still longs for that pop stardom she imagined in her youth. Through it all, her brother is there for her.
My character in this play is really trying to remind my sister of the things that she was raised on and really trying to make sure that she comes back home to her roots.
Follow the Star is a moving Christmas story of redemption.
Eliana is following the star to Hollywood, and the message of the production is to follow the star to Bethlehem.
For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley.
Following yonder star since 19...
Follow the Star is being performed at Speak the Word Church International in Golden Valley. Admission is free, and showtimes are tonight, Friday night at 7:30, Saturday at 3, and Sunday at 6:30 p.m. And that does it for us.
Thanks for joining us. Community Corner is coming up next, and have a great weekend, everyone.